out here mowing too. He's mowing this section. Normally this is the property line right here. These wires, property line, but he mows over, I guess, just to help out. I'm not complaining, but he's mowing too. But here we are, back at it. Not a lot of room to park. Trying to put an edge on the mulch beds, but I had to block this mailbox, and the neighbors is on the other side of the truck, but not a lot of room in this little court. But yeah, got 4 on the books. They're all big, but we'll get it done. Activity. It's finished up. Edged around all the trees and down these guys here. I don't know if Noah's going to be able to get back up there because they're still working, spraying off the house. But Noah, I can hear him, but he's back up in there. But anyway, we're done with this one. I'm gonna blow off and on to the next one. Try to get behind that. Got tall grass. Don't like that. Can you get it that way? Grass on Big old centipede too. Ooh, you went down that hole. Woo. Now this yard is steeper than it looks. Oops, sorry guys, bad camera. I mean, really can't tell, but man, that is boom. Well, you can kind of see, look how tall, you know, that thing is probably 10 feet tall. It's almost a 10-foot drop right there. And that's why we have to use the walk behind. Can't use a stand on. And I usually weed whack all that because it's full of stumps. I'll show you. I have to weed whack all those bushes right there. Can't get the 48 inch in there, but you can't bring the 48 inch down here either because, I mean, it's full of rocks. Anything, all this stuff will mess up your blade so bad you wouldn't want. You know, they cut off the stumps like right here. But you hit any of this stuff. There's a rock, there's another stump, there's another rock. And you know, you can kiss your blade goodbye. I mean, here's a rock standing straight up. You just kiss your blade goodbye. So I just weed whack this. But now I'm at the bottom of that hill. You can see, man, it's straight uphill. Straight uphill. There's a buried rock right there, but it's low enough that our blades don't hit it. Here it is. That's why you need a walk behind for this hill right here. Right here. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Not bad, not bad. Kind of a small front yard, but a big one in the back with all the weed whacking. Not bad though. Not bad. We're at the big one again. half acre. You've seen it before. But it's going to rain the rest of the week, so we want to make sure we got this one. We had to come back because they had a bunch of stuff in the yard. The kids were playing. Okay, just finished. Still go, oh, I forgot, I gotta go do that big tree. Well, we whacked around everything. There's a big piece of metal there you gotta be careful of. But I know it's blowing off, but that's like a gas line. It goes up to that gas meter there, but it's a big metal thing and it sticks up a little higher than the mower does. But I noticed some uneven cutting here. Worries me because that last lawn I was telling you about with the big rocks and the big stumps, Noah was trying to help me out. Normally doesn't look like that when we mow his lawn. So either one of my tires is lower than the other, or we may have been a blade. Don't know. Anyway, let me go do that tree. Get going so we can be done. There's noise. All right. Okay. I've been wanting to make this video and just been too lazy to do it. But I want to do it for those of you that have, you know, an expensive commercial mower. You know, sometimes the answer is not always to go to the dealer. We paid $2,300 for this mower. Now it did have this cover when we bought it. That has since flown off. The one on the other side is still there. So I need to order a new cover. But all the stickers are on it. It only had 500 hours. It now has 619. But a weird thing happened. Some of you may have seen it on the Toro EXMARK Facebook page. I had my PTO, when my son was using it, the PTO would just stop, even though he didn't let off this. He would just be going along and it would just stop. And this button would still be out, so you'd have to push it down and pull it back up. It wouldn't start, and then he turned it off and it wouldn't turn back on. Something was sucking the power. So I'll put a photo of what I found on the fuse. A lot of people said check the fuses, and some people said other things, but what happened was I called the dealership and said, hey, I think I got a bad fuse holder, an inline fuse holder. Could I, you know, get a new one? And they were scaring me, saying, well, something made the fuse get hot. It's probably your PTO. Well, PTO, if you buy the OEM PTO for this thing, it's like, I want to say it's almost $400, maybe a little over. Anyway, this is a 2008, I believe it's an 8 or a 9, Turbo Force, Turbo Force 48-inch walk behind. I put a Bradley. This is a Bradley. Sticker's coming off right there. I guess that's the part number. I'm not really sure. Maybe this is it. I don't know. It's a Bradley. I had to cut off a bracket here because there was a bracket here and a bracket here, but they interfered with where my hydro was. When I had my EXMARK, my hydro wasn't there. So you could literally just fold this thing up and it would click in, so you didn't have to have this thing with a chain to hold it on. But anyway, I digress. I just wanted to let you know what that was in case you were wondering. This is a Bradley. I do need to paint these spots that I ground off so that they don't rust anymore, but it works great. Okay, back to what I was talking about. The fuse, mine, let's see, will it focus? Yeah, come on. 5/16. It's just four, let me put this down. It was just 4 5/16 bolts that held it on. One here, and then 2 over here. And you kind of have to pull on it. But anyway, that comes off. And then there was a bunch of, stuff on here. So what happened was those inline fuses were right here. Both of them weren't bad, just one, the one that was going to the PTO. I had to look up I had to look at the colors here. You'll see inside there's a purple and a red, and it told me which colors used which size fuses. So Toro wanted $14 for their inline fuse. You know, they stack together, and they're open. It looks really cool, but $14 for each, that'd be $28. I wasn't sure if it was the PTO, and then I saw these at, I think, AutoZone or someplace. They were $3.99 a piece. I bought two. These are the 30-inch. I mean, not 30-inch. Excuse me, 30-amp fuse inline fuse holders, and they have a cover. So this one of these has a 20, one of these has a 10. I had to look at the colors to figure that out. But anyway, I put these in, and then I used Vaseline. You know, stuck it in there. I used watertight. I crimped and then you heat shrink these watertight. I got these at Walmart. So literally for like, you know, 15 bucks, I fixed this problem. And then while I was here, I was like, well, you know what? These look, you know, let me check all these. So I took all these off. I put Vaseline on everything. Vaseline is basically, or petroleum jelly, whatever you want to call it, is basically the same thing as dielectric grease. I think dielectric grease may have an element for rust prohibitor, but if you go out on YouTube and you look at dielectric grease versus Vaseline or petroleum jelly, they do a bunch of tests. They're identical. So since this was the PTO, I did want to look at this. I took this apart, and it did look a little dirty, so I used some sandpaper and I cleaned up the contacts. I put some petroleum jelly or Vaseline, whatever you want to call it, dielectric grease in there, and then I snapped it, you know, I snapped it tight. Now, I did notice that this was broke, so maybe it does kind of back. Let me see. This is broke and it's kind of bent up, so maybe this was backing out, causing that weird connection. If it continues to have a problem, if I do have a problem, I can put a zip tie. I could probably wrap a zip tie right here between these two. Sorry, I keep thinking you can see me between these two wires, and you know, and cinch it down so that this doesn't come apart. That might be part of the problem, but ever since I did that, it's been about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks. I've had my son's had zero issues with it, and we've had no problems with the charging. Some people are saying, oh, check your charging system, you know, sand down the charging system. That's probably the problem, which it could have been. Some people are saying it's your clutch, which what they meant was the PTO. That's what they meant. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there and put that in this video so that in case anybody's, you know, checking things out, one thing you might want to do, and I'll again, you've seen the picture, but I'll show you the picture again. I could definitely tell this was overheating. I could feel it, how hot it was, and I could also see the fuse. It didn't break, but it was just melted. So I knew that was the problem, but I couldn't tell if it was the PTO / clutch, you know, which some people call it a clutch, some people call it a PTO. I called it a PTO. I couldn't tell if it was the PTO was going bad or it was just someone just said Toro had a lot of weak inline fuse holders, and it was literally the inline fuse. I'm not smart enough to test the inline fuse holder, you know, put a I don't know what you call it, a tester like on one side or the other to find out, you know, what amperage and all that stuff. I don't know that. I'm not an electrician, but I went with my gut, was let's just replace the cheapest thing I could do, which was replace that. And I bought these can go up to 30 amps, so they have a really thick wire. The Toros, the wires come out the back. They're stacked on each other. They come out this way. This one goes in one way and comes out the other, so it separates it, which I like. And then I just zip tied it up, and you don't even see it because I put that cover on. But anyway, since I've done it, no issues. I hope this helps somebody out.